Have you got your hands on our free beginner's guide to dog reactivity yet? If you and your dog need a refresher, or if you aren't sure where to start with your sensitive dog, check the link in the description to get your free copy today. This guide will help you to help your dog be more successful around other dogs, strangers, riding in the car, and more. Be sure to head to the description and click on the link today. Hey guys, Louise here, back with another episode of Reactive Dog Chats. Today we're going to be talking about the different ways you can provide your reactive dog with proper exercise and enrichment. This is important because a lot of our dogs, while we're working on a training program, are going through their management and prevention phase. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link to another episode that goes over this in more detail below. But during this time, your dog is likely not getting out quite as much as they used to. And physical exercise and mental stimulation remain just as important as they have ever been. So today we'll come up with some creative ways that you can make sure you're meeting your dog's physical and emotional needs. Let's start with enrichment. Enrichment just means to bring a greater sense of quality to. And so enrichment for a dog can be providing them with a sense of novelty and self-exploration. So with my dogs, what we like to do is a lot of food enrichment. We do that because it's really convenient for families to add this in since you're already feeding your dog at least once, if not twice, every day. Food enrichment provides your dog with an opportunity to work through a problem to acquire food. You could call it a food acquisition challenge. There are so many ways that we can do this. But first I need to tell you guys that if you set up a food enrichment, let's just call them puzzles, a food enrichment puzzle for your dog, and it's so hard that they get frustrated, that's not actually enriching to them, okay? That's just frustrating. So we want them to work at it, but not to be so difficult that they give up on it, okay? So with our dogs, one of the things we love to do is we save almost every box that we get. So when we order something from Amazon or Chewy, we save the box and we save all of our junk mail. So, the flyers from your local grocery store or even the newspaper, if you guys are still reading the newspaper. If you get any packing paper, what we do is we'll crumple this up and put it in the box. And we call this our forage box. So then we'll sprinkle their kibble in the paper and put it on the floor in the box. So our dogs have to root through the paper to get to their food. Now, for our dog Piper, this takes her about 15 minutes, and our dog Monzo can take him about a half hour. Now, he eats about twice as much as her, so that makes sense. But it really depends on your dog how long it's going to take them to work through this challenge. And it's not really about trying to get your dog to work for their food in a way that exhausts them. So we don't want it to take 45 minutes or an hour, but we want it to just be exciting, a fun opportunity for them to really stimulate their mind. Another way that we provide our dogs with food enrichment is by saving every single one of our toilet paper tubes. So our toilet paper tubes and our paper towel rolls do not get thrown out or recycled until our dogs have shredded them. So one of the things that we'll do is maybe we'll just put some of their food in a toilet paper tube. We fold over one end, put some kibble in it, fold over the other end. Now you could just hand this to your dog as a special treat, or you could put their food among several of these and put your dog in a different room so they can't see you and hide them in your house. Now, your follow-up question is probably going to be, Louise, doesn't that make a mess? And my answer would be yes. Yes, it does. In fact, looking at my living room now, I can see several old shreds of toilet paper tube that still need to be picked up. But I mean, you're going to throw it away anyway. And as long as your dog doesn't eat it or ingest the material, it's perfectly safe. Yes, it might be a little obnoxious, but the good news is that once they shred it, you're going to get rid of it. And then it's going to take you, another week or more to save up enough rolls to try it again. Another type of foraging activity you can do is just use your dog's toy bin. Now, if your dog doesn't have a toy bin, go shopping because they should. Behind these curtains on the floor is 3 bins of stuffed animal toys and rubber toys, things like that, that our dogs have acquired over the years. And on a poor weather day or on a day when my dogs can't go for a WALK because we're avoiding triggers, like when there's a party going on outside of the pool, we'll do these enrichment opportunities. So I'll put a bin on the ground, their toy bin, put some food, layer it with toys, food, toys, food, toys, food, and then let my dog just tear it apart and have fun. If I'm being honest, his toys are all over the living room all of the time anyway. So why not put some purpose behind it? Now, if this is too easy for your dog, you could wrap the whole thing in one of their blankets, because then they'll have to remove the blanket to get to the toys and food as well. And perhaps the most obvious opportunity for food enrichment is with a toy called a Kong. Now, a Kong is a hard rubber toy that you can freeze their food in. This is helpful if your dog eats in their crate because then the mess is confined. And I love Kongs. I've used them for years, but my new favorite toy is called the Pupsicle. It's made by the company called Woof. I'll link this in the description below. It has been so much easier to provide our dog with frozen food enrichment because you only need one toy and it screws apart and you can put the frozen filler right into it. Take a look at the link. It makes more sense. I promise you it's worth your money. We use them every single day. Our dogs get them for enrichment in the evening. We put a portion of their dinner frozen in the toy. And we use it when we go to the vet's office as well. When they get acupuncture, it keeps them still and occupied. And I'm just putting their kibble in there with water. Some people, some of my clients will use their kibble and some canned food or some canned pumpkin or frozen yogurt, things like that. Plain yogurt, frozen, not frozen yogurt for people, just so we're clear. So just like you'd fill a Kong, you can fill this mold that comes with the Pupsicle and then pop one out, screw it in, and then you have a nice enrichment toy. Now, at the end of the day, food enrichment should be something that your dog enjoys. If your dog doesn't enjoy the things I talked about, then I challenge you to come up with some other ideas because food can be something your dog loves to work for and really enjoys the opportunity of that food acquisition challenge. So try to use their mealtime as an opportunity for that. Now, if you have a dog who doesn't love their meal, doesn't get really excited about the opportunity of you putting their food down in a bowl, then I don't want you to put all of their food in an enrichment opportunity for them. What I would rather you do is give them half of their food as you normally do, and maybe half in an enrichment opportunity. Then your dog can decide. The other thing you could try is feed them at mealtime the normal way you've been doing, but use treats in an enrichment toy instead. So use treats in a snuffle box, a forage bin, those kinds of things. So your dog gets an opportunity to really enjoy the game, to figure out what it's all about before you then try and use something lower value like their meal. So we've talked a lot about food enrichment. So what I'd like to talk about next is some physical enrichment. Now, if you can't go out and go for your normal hikes and walks with your dog, they're probably still in need of physical exercise. If you haven't watched our video yet, I highly recommend you take a look at the video where we go over the flirt pole. I'll put it up here in the window for you guys. A flirt pole, if your dog is in good physical condition and of the right age to do this, is a fabulous way to give your dog some physical energy burn, especially when they're doing that and then have opportunities inside for food enrichment. This allows you to really let your dog chase and run and really burn that energy, get some good quality cardio in a confined and safe way right at home. Now, I wouldn't do this inside because it has some safety risks, but take a look at the video so you can see if that would be a good opportunity for your dog. Now, if going out in your yard is stressful, even just for potty time, so flirt pole isn't going to be an opportunity, you can't go just out in your yard and play fetch, then what I want you to do instead is play with them inside. Now, obviously, if your dog likes to play tug with toys, then by all means, be my guest. But one of the ways that we've been exercising our dogs inside is with their physical therapy. So Fit Paws, I'll link this in the description below, is a company that makes a lot of physical therapy and exercise equipment for dogs. This is a great way to build their strength, but also to burn their energy. Doing things like walking over poles and balancing on different balance toys, kind of like a yoga ball for people, but built for our four-legged animals. This is a great opportunity for your dog to strengthen and burn that energy. We do balancing games and cavaletti pulls with our dogs every other day to keep them fit and healthy in their older age. Now, the other thing that you can try with your dog is inside parkour. So we do parkour in the woods with our dogs. It's like jumping on a rock, going under logs, going around trees, things like that. But again, if you're avoiding going out because your dog is reactive and you're avoiding the triggers, we got to get physical inside so your dog doesn't get bored and drive you a little crazy. So what you can do is set up obstacles right in your living room. You can set up a chair that your dog has to go underneath. You could put a pillow on the floor that your dog has to jump over or onto. You could put a broomstick between two boots that your dog has to jump over and then go under. You could put up a stack of books that your dog has to put their front feet on. So this is both in mental stimulation, it's enrichment, and it's also physical exercise. So we're getting the best of both worlds. So when it comes down to it, as long as you set aside some time, just like you would to exercise your dog outside, you can accomplish meeting their needs, both emotional with that mental stimulation and physical with some physical exercise right inside your house. Is your dog going through their management and prevention plan right now? Are you avoiding the hard things so that you can build your dog's skills to help them feel and be more successful in the face of triggers? Well, if that's you, please at least pick one of the things from today's talk to try with your dogs. By improving their quality of life, we're dramatically going to improve their behavior one little step at a time. Now, if you try something from our talk today, tell me in the comments below how it went. I'd love to hear about it. And if you have a suggestion yourself, please tell me. Maybe we'll add it to our next episode. Thanks so much for joining me today. Tell your dogs I said hello, give them a treat from me, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye for now.